When Jesus saw that 2 of John's disciples were now following him, he turned and he said to them, "What are you looking for?" Now, these are Jesus' first words in John's Gospel, so you know they're significant. Jesus is asking these first 2 disciples what they're looking for. What are they seeking? What do they want? If they're going to follow him, if they're going to learn from him, they must begin with this question in mind. Because what they're looking for, what they're hoping for, will influence what they'll find and what they'll learn. Learning from a rabbi, a teacher in the first century, wasn't like how we all conventionally learn. They didn't show up for class once a week for an hour or something, and then otherwise just go about life as normal. Discipleship was an immersive experience. Disciples would enter into relationship with their teacher. They would live the life their teacher lived. Disciples weren't looking for the kind of knowledge you get from book learning. They were looking for wisdom, an embodied, shared knowledge, a living knowledge, one only gained through the sharing of life, spending some time journeying through life together as companions on the way. They would have prayed together and eaten together. Now, this togetherness, this living with in order to learn from, kind of kept the conversation going. The teaching, the learning, kept the conversation going. Disciples learned through and from all aspects of their teacher's life, not just what the teacher knew. The disciples' response, "Where are you staying?" was a way for them to say to Jesus, "We'd like to join you, follow you, so we might learn from you." Come and see, Jesus says. Come and see. And they do. How would we answer Jesus' question? What are we looking for? We've chosen to follow Jesus too. What do we tell ourselves about why? Now, unlike these first disciples, my own learning experiences have been far from immersive. Didactic learning has been the thing. A credentialed teacher has told me what I need to know. And over time, I accumulate the knowledge that I'm given, right? So my mind becomes like an internal library or a reference system. Each new bit of knowledge, like another book up there on the shelf. Just more stuff that I know, or think I know. Learning has also, for the most part, been task or subject specific, right? And geared for a purpose. And that purpose, ultimately, in this society, is to get a job, right? So if I'm able to get a job, then I can be a full participant, right? I can earn money. I can pay my bills. I can buy stuff. And I can repeat these behaviors for the rest of my life. This essentially is what my education, what my learning has been for. Right? This has been the purpose of my education. So if I think about the question, what are you looking for? My answer in this cultural context would likely reference what kind of work I might like to do, or how much money I might want or need, various ways of being comfortable, options for holding a position or being useful in society, right? And the world as it is is quite happy with our learning directing us to this purpose. Because it needs all of us for it to be the way it is. Needs all of us for it to be the way it is. It'd actually be kind of risky to have us all actively thinking about really what we're looking for, right? Because if we really thought about it, we might just answer, not this, right? Not this. Given the chance to think creatively and expansively, surely we would be highly unlikely to say, oh, yes, we are looking for a life that has economic growth as our primary reason for being. Right? We're looking for a way of being in community that accepts violence is necessary to maintain order. So are large armies and militarized police and vast prison systems. I think we would be really hard-pressed to find anyone who would say that their deep longing is for maximum efficiency and productivity. Right? Surely, none of these things are what we are truly looking for. And yet this is how we live. So encouraged to really answer the question, really think about it. Perhaps we might say, well, we're looking for a gentler, more just way to live together. We might be yearning for an end to violences of all kinds and an end to hate. Perhaps we're looking for freedom. Freedom from actions and habits of thought and behavior that separate us from one another and from God. Perhaps we might be looking for a life together that has relationship as primary. Relationship as our very reason for being. As people of faith, we might say, we're looking for God. Yearning for fullness of being, to be healed, restored. We might say we're looking for life. We have a recent college grad in our house right now. Yeah. Having spent well over a decade learning all kinds of stuff, right, in school, he's now beginning this next part of his life. And there are some questions he gets asked a lot. How are you going to cover your rent? Right? Do you have a job lined up? What kind of work are you looking for? What are your career plans? What's next? Right? These are the questions we expect to be asked, and our lives become the answer. But the spiritual life is born out of an entirely different set of questions, right? What do you think is the purpose of your life? How might you come to live your life fully? What kind of a world do you want to live in? How might you play a role in the transformation of the world? How might you make God's presence real through your life in the world? What unique gifts do you have, and how might you live into them? What are you looking for? The lives we live will be the answers to a bunch of questions. So it really does matter what those questions are. It matters why we want to follow Jesus, what we expect he'll teach us, What will be receptive to learning from him? It matters. These are tough questions, and they're not answered easily, but they're important questions for us to engage with and wrestle with. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened for you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. So what are we looking for? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Right? We are right to grieve the state of the world. Our righteous anger is an absolutely appropriate response to the injustice and the killing. And it's easy just to lament and bemoan the state of the world, to look on and watch, disgruntled, appalled, but detached, and from a distance, not knowing really how to respond. Come and see, Jesus says. Come and see. Come and see how it should be or could be. Learn from me. I will give you all you need to participate in the glorious transformation of this world. Come and see. Come and learn. Learn what it is to live. We have chosen to follow Jesus, chosen Jesus as our teacher. And we've chosen to learn from him just as those first disciples did, by living together and learning together with him and from him. Church is a way for us to become disciples, to immerse ourselves in the spiritual life, doing life together, patiently, slowly, over time, attentively, appreciatively, listening to one another as we learn, experiencing life together and asking and re-asking the big questions along the way. We immerse ourselves in this learning by praying together and sharing meals together, trusting one another, and making relationship the most important thing. More than any book could ever offer, more than any class could ever teach, discipleship is a way of living. It is a chosen, intentional life of transformational learning in and through relationship. It's a chosen spiritual life of shared experience, centered on our teacher, centered on Jesus. This chosen, intentional life of learning is conversion of life. And this, I know, is at least part of what I'm looking for. Who's with me?